does that, playing a lefty?
Yeah. Yeah, this is natural for me. Totally natural.
Yeah, that's fun. Hey, everybody, this is Jimi Bell, and we are here for another episode of Beyond the Strings, right here at RHCTV. And I am really excited because I have a long time, very good friend of mine, Mr. Gregg Livesay. Welcome, buddy. Glad to have you on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. First off, my deepest condolences about your mom. I mean, I know that I was very happy you were still able to come on the show, considering it just happened recently. And of course, we talked about this. We're as sad as it is. We're both blessed that both our moms, lived to be quite old, which is great. So we had them in our life for a good amount of time.
Oh yeah.
Get this out of my hand. This is right. I want a lefty guitar. Here you go. It's hard to hold your righty. So let's talk about when we met. Okay, so we actually met back in the 80s, and it was the weirdest thing. Mm-hmm. It had to be like 85 or 86 because the Guitar Player magazine thing had already come out. So I went up to a club. You were playing there, right?
Mm-hmm. I was.
Now, what band was that you were playing with at the time?
I think it was Vandal. I was playing with Vandal, and
did that have any of the guys that I know from your other bands?
No.
These are all different cats.
Keith,
the drummer.
Keith, yeah.
Yeah,
Keith
I thought he might. So he was in it.
Yeah.
So I walk into the club. Streets in New Rochelle. What the heck I was doing out in New Rochelle? I still don't know how I made it out there.
Yeah.
Especially in the 80s, I don't know how I made it out there. But I walk in and I hear this guitar player that's just absolutely mind-blowing. And so I waited till he got off, and you and I struck up a conversation. And I introduced myself, and I said I was just featured in Guitar Player magazine and Mike Varney's Spotlight column. And you looked at me and said, "Yeah, right, kid. Now get away from me."
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
No,
I remember it.
No, I remember the conversation.
No, I know.
Yeah, you had said to me, "Have you ever considered submitting anything for the Spotlight column?" And I said, I was honest. I said, I really don't think that I would be good enough to do that. And you said, you were very nice and very encouraging. And you said, yeah, 100%, you're not good enough to do that. No, he said, no.
I knew it was going to be like this. We can't even get through anything.
No, you said, no, you're wrong. You should do it. And I was just in it. And, naturally, I hadn't met you before. So I was like, really? So you said, yeah, I'm in such and such edition. And so I went right home because I had a subscription to the magazine. Right. And I was in my bedroom and I was, pulling them out. And yeah, I was
you were in your bedroom?
Yeah,
okay.
Well, yeah, I got to be somewhere, right? So I was in the bedroom and I'm flipping through the page, and lo and behold, there you are.
Yeah.
You're standing there, and I think you had your guitar on your shoulder.
Yeah, I had my guitar on my shoulder.
Yeah,
my hair was spiked out like back in the 80s.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, that's the dude. He was 100% legit.
It's so weird that you and I met that long ago.
Yeah.
But we kind of we didn't reconnect till what was it, 10 years now?
Yeah.
Or 10, maybe longer
20,
now.
Yeah, you pulled a Haley's Comet on me. You just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, but we reconnected...
2014.
2014?
2014.
Okay, so 10, 11 years now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So all of a sudden you come out, and I'm playing a small club, and we reintroduce ourselves after all this years, and then we just grew a friendship that was just unbelievable. I mean, we would get together and talk about guitars and.
Well, I'll tell you how it really happened. You put up that picture on your Facebook page. I did not realize that you were the same guy that I met that night in the 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I saw the picture of you, and you said, this is the Throwback Thursday of me when I was in Guitar Player magazine Spotlight column. And I looked at the picture, and you had same pose.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God. So I called you up and I said, hey, do you realize?
Yeah, we actually did, we were doing Messenger. We
had
become friends, and we were doing that first.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give you my number because I didn't trust you.
No, you said go away, kid.
Yeah, go away. Don't call me.
Yeah, don't.
I got a much bigger name on the other line.
Yeah, yeah, I got to let you go.
I got to let you go.
Yeah. But that's how it happened. I realized it was you, and I said, do you know that we met that night And you said to me vaguely, you know, it was, you know.
Everything in the 80s was vaguely to me.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But
yeah, it was a great. But man, I was just so happy that you and I had reconnected, and then, you know, we started doing some shows together. So, all right, tell us about, I want to go into your career, because you've had a lot of records out, but you were actually, now you play in all original, you know, you write all your own songs, you do original music, that's your preference, which is a very hard road to go down. But you did play in a cover band, more or less a cover, but even a tribute, way before, you know, there were other Ozzy and Randy Rhoads tribute. You were into the whole Randy Rhoads thing, right?
I was in a band called Master Force, and Randy was actually still alive. So I'm dating myself a little bit. He wasn't alive for long, but he was still alive.
Yeah.
So it was relevant. And I did that until about 1984 when I got out of it, because two things happened to me. One was the scene was changing. You remember the 80s, like 83, 84, we started getting bigger bands in our area, like TT Quick.
Yeah.
They were doing like a 60-40. 60% originals, 40% covers. We had the Jackals with Tony Harnell, pre-TNT.
Yeah.
Okay, and we had Black Lace, which was a local band, the Fragnito brothers. Carl was probably the best guitar player in the area.
Yeah, I remember
all
those
original. Yeah, they got signed with Mausoleum, and they were all playing to packed houses. And I could see that the whole dynamic was shifting towards original music, and the crowds were very receptive to it.
I
right?
know. Just like in the 80s when Joint Forces finally made the decision, when we got back together, the second version of it, and we said, all right, we're going to come out and do a 90-minute show. We're all original music. We'll have two opening acts, you know, play in front of us. And, you know, we actually, our opening night was at the Agora Ballroom, and we actually went on stage at 11:30. I can't even make it to 8:30 now.
We all went on late.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, you know, we imagine like entering the stage at 11:30 at night to play a 90-minute set. But
yeah,
we played the sold-out places, and, you know, big places.
Huge.
And there was so much. You know, the L'Amours. Yeah, the L'Amours, Brooklyn and Queens. There was so much.
It's like 3,000 or 4,000 people in there.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane. And we were doing our own music. That was like something that was going on. It's unheard of now a lot of times in this area. It's like everything has changed so drastically.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that happened to me, and I have to say this, really changed my life. While I was playing in that band, I was asked to audition for a bigger band. And I knew these guys. And they were a little bit older, a lot more experienced, and they had let something happen with their guitar player. And everybody knew this guitar player. He worked in Bronin's Music in White Plains. His first name was Billy. Bronin's was right next to Sam Ash. Everybody knew this guy. Okay. He worked there, okay? Excellent guitar player, left the band. They invited me to come down. And they said, we've got Ross the Boss from Man of War is filling in every once in a while, helping us out.
Ross.
Yeah, so I went down to the rehearsal studio. I set my stuff up. And I played 2 Ozzy songs with them, right? The third song, the drummer said to me, all right, let's jam on something. So I said, okay, how about Over the Mountain? So the guy takes his drumsticks and he sets them down on the snare and he stands up and he said to me, he said, listen, I don't care if you can play Randy Rhoads note for note. I want to hear what you can do, just like that. Now, I'm somewhat of a tall person, right?
Yeah.
I shrunk to 3 inches in about 2 seconds. I had no response to this guy. I had nothing to offer. I had never played an original song in my life. I had nothing. So I put my head down and I said, I guess the audition's over with. So I packed up my stuff and I left, and I had a buddy with me helping me with my gear. And as we were going home, he was doing the usual buddy thing, trying to cheer me up. He's like, that guy's a jerk. He should have never said that to you, and so forth. And I just sat there and I said, you know what, Steve? He's not wrong. He's 100% right. Yeah. He's 100% right. The only thing that I could do was play cover songs. I didn't know how to do anything else.
Right.
And I knew right then and there that if I wanted to ever find out who I was
as a guitar player,
and what my voice was and what I sounded like and wrote like, I had to get out of that. And that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know? And that's how it all started for me, and I've never looked back.
Yeah, it's It's a great story. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a second and we're going to get back to everything. We're going to do a segment of Inside the Gig Bag. We'll be right back to you.
Hey everybody, Jimi Bell again for another episode of Inside the Gig Bag. And today I want to talk to you about something, that you've heard a million times, probably on a bunch of great guitar players, Zakk Wylde, Billy Gibbons. So many people use something called a pinch harmonic. And it's just a really, really cool effect. You're basically plucking a note instead of going like... You're going to take the pick and kind of turn it a little bit to the side and catch the edge of the string with your thumb as you play. Now, obviously, you could hear, like, for example, like in, the beginning. It's just a really cool effect. You could do it all over the place. And another very cool thing you could do with it is you go up, say, to, an exact octave, and you follow it, 12 frets of every note that you're playing. So if you want to go... The legendary guitar player, country guy, Danny Gatton, used to call them squealers. And, you could even do the famous Eddie Van Halen riff. It's a little thing that he does in the song Somebody Get Me a Doctor. He's taking, once again, the edge of your thumb and just rolling down and got G string and catching all your, the harmonics. It's just a great little effect, and I wanted to share it with you. And, of course, if you do it with the wah-wah on, you can really accent them, too. Anyways, this is Jimi Bell. Thanks for watching another segment of Inside the Gig Bag.
Hey, Greg, welcome back. Let's continue talking about this original thing. So you've done a lot of records now. How many records have you got out total
With this
right
band,
now?
7.
With
Livesay.
With Livesay, under
Yeah.
your own name.
Yeah, and I have 2 EPs with 2 other I think 3 EPs with 3 other bands, yeah. Not as many as you, but I have,
Is there a reason that you chose Livesay over Bell for your...
Well, I couldn't grow any facial hair.
Oh, okay.
Like
so that
you,
is
so yeah, I had to keep it clean,
that is a good
and
reason.
black doesn't look good on me.
Yeah, the black hair dye thing wouldn't
No.
look good.
Although I did screw my hair up once and change it to black.
You did?
Yeah, for about 3 months, and it was
It doesn't come out that easy, does it?
No, it's fascinating.
No, so you have on your records, you have singers and everything, but you have a lot of instrumental things as well that you write. Now, let's talk about influences, because now I know you've changed gears, and the direction of your music tends to be more of a neoclassical type of stuff. And people relate to neoclassical. As soon as you hear that term, they think of Yngwie Malmsteen, they think of this and that. But it's actually just a wide variety of type of music that you could write over that thing. It doesn't mean that just because you play that style that you're playing an Yngwie Malmsteen thing, because it's not, because there's a lot of these different style players. Don't get me wrong, there are these cats out there that are all about trying to sound like Yngwie, trying to, do the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what you do. You have your own style, but you like to do all the same type of scales, because that's the way your style is. You do the diminished, the arpeggios, the harmonic minors and stuff. You've adapted that into your personal style and into your writing. Is that something that you're extremely comfortable with? Did that take some time for you to do that, or?
Well, when I got out of Masterforce, I went back for lessons. I met a teacher who was teaching that stuff around 85. I stayed with Lou Briaco, was teaching in Ossing Music in New York. I stayed with Lou from 85 to 91. I was there every Saturday, all those years, religiously. Every Saturday I went for a lesson, except when Lou was on vacation.
Right.
And he was teaching that, which was rare back then. You couldn't find a guy to show you that stuff.
Yeah.
And I wanted to learn it because I remember the first time I heard Yngwie and I heard Uli Roth. I was like, man, these
Some
guys...
people don't even understand
Uli
about
Roth?
Uli.
Oh, my God.
It's like he was really...
He was the original.
Yeah, I mean,
He's the original guy.
You have Blackmore that was, doing his version of that stuff, which is definitely neoclassical, his playing,
Mm-hmm.
But Uli just really had that.
Sails of Sharon, or
Yeah.
Break the Chain, any of those solos. I mean, you got to get past Uli singing, but if you can get past that and wait till he starts playing, he'll make you cry.
Well, yeah, but the fact that he did a lot of that stuff in with Scorpions,
Yes.
in the early days, that so he was taking Scorpion tunes and adding that
Tokyo
that
tapes.
Yeah.
He was also playing with a scallop neck when he was in the Scorpions.
Oh,
which-
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I got it. Now you opened up a can of worms. Okay. So here, you hold my guitar
Sure.
for 1 second.
Yeah.
Don't-
A very good friend gave me this.
Who?
Albie Romano gave me this guitar in '88.
He did?
And all good friends give me guitars, and I really like this one.
Well, you can have that.
I think this will
now,
good in my
if he gave you-
collection.
if he gave you this guitar,
Yeah.
this is still a 3-bolt.
Yes, it is.
So that makes it. Is this a 70s body then?
That's a 71
It's a 71 because Fender. This is a 3-bolt
micro adjustment.
micro adjuster, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they did in the 70s. The 60s had the 4-bolt.
Yeah.
The 4-bolt, and then they went to this with the micro adjuster, which honestly, it's a cool thing.
It is. I love it.
That you could tilt this neck, because
Yep.
I can't tell you how many guitars, when I did some work at the music store, ones that didn't have that, the micro tilt, I would have to shim necks. People wanted lower action, and I was, taking a certain piece of paper or cardboard or even guitar picks, a thin pick, right at the heel here, just to elevate the back of the neck so we could bring some of the action down. So what you have here is something that a lot of guitar players are using, but you've used this forever. You've been doing this thing. So the guitar neck here has what we call scalp fingerboard. So this guitar has scalping all the way up the entire neck. Now, I do this on a few of my guitars, but I only do it from the 17th fret up because it helps me when I'm pulling a note that I could get underneath the string so it doesn't slip out of my fingers. But you have the entire guitar done.
You have it entirely screwed up.
Yeah. No,
totally
you're totally a mess.
Yeah.
But here, no, the thing is that's very interesting about this is because somehow you talked me into thinking that I would like this.
A few things.
Yeah, you've talked me into.
Yeah.
Don't even. We'll go there because I'm telling you right now. You talked me into trying this. So I took one of my SG type guitars that Dale Robertson made me.
Yeah.
And I scalped a little bit. Then I went down to the 12th, and then I started going further. So I ended up with a whole guitar like that. So House of Lords had a gig you were at, and I had that guitar, and all week I played it, and I was playing really good on it. And I said, okay, I get to the gig, and all of a sudden I can't play. I'm like, it's fighting me like no one's business. And instead of like thinking clearly that my main guitar is on a stand right behind me, like, okay, I'm going to put this down and I'm going to pick up my main guitar. I couldn't even think that, get that process through my mind.
Yeah.
So I struggled the whole time with this guitar. But later on, in a conversation that you had with me, I made the mistake of using my normal.
You're going to say I made the mistake of listening.
I made the mistake of listening to you, or even becoming friends with you again. But I made the mistake of not changing string gauge because I use strings 10 to 48 or to 46, whatever the standard GHS is.
I know what's coming.
You use a very. I'm sorry.
I know what's coming.
I know. You use a very light gauge. 8 to what is it? 8 to 38?
If I have to admit it, yes.
No. All right. What is it? 32?
It's 8. No. It's 8 to 38.
Yeah. So now Yngwie uses this gauge string.
He does.
I mean.
So does Paul Gilbert.
And so does Joe Stump. Joe, I believe, uses and. So then I'm thinking about, and I heard Billy Gibbons even uses a sevens or something. I didn't even realize that
they make sevens.
They make sevens. You're in business.
Oh boy!
Oh boy!
Boy, I'm calling D'Addario tomorrow. No, I'm kidding.
But I never played a set of 8s. I was always on that same gauge. I don't think I even owned a set of 9s ever. But I found out later that the reason that one of the reasons that you don't have a problem with this was two things. Your fretboard isn't scalped all that deep, number one. It's a very slight scalp. Some guys...
On this Strat.
Yeah. Some people, though, really have it cut out, like, insanely amount.
Well, that neck was done by hand by the guy who owned the store. Bob Galassi did that with a file by hand. The other guitars I have from Warmouth, these are Warmouth necks. They were done at the factory, and they're much deeper.
Right, I've seen those.
They're much deeper, yeah.
But the key, I believe, is to use a string like this light or no heavier than a 9 gauge.
Yeah.
There's something about it. It seems to work better
sonically.
Sonically,
yes.
So I notice, like, a lot of times when you're playing, like, you'll do this amazing run, and then you'll get to the top, and you'll have this wild vibrato thing at the top. There's like so many different things that you could do with a light gauge like this that I struggle with with the 10s. But I'm stubborn. I'm Italian. I'm stubborn. So I don't want to change what I'm used to. You know?
And plus you're playing in a lower tuning than me, so using 8s for you would be a disaster, I think.
Yeah.
I'm in a standard 440 or 435, so it doesn't affect me like that.
Yeah. No, this is like a really cool thing. I think let's talk about pickups now. As you know, Strats, come with single coil pickups, like on my new.
Like this one, my new guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
here,
these
here,
are.
I want you to just hold this for 1 second. I'm going to show you. You hold this for 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to this.
You got any umbrellas you want me to hold up?
Yeah. Can you mind pampering me a little bit too?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do this on the clean thing here. All right. Oh, it went back on. See? So here you'll hear a single coil. Now I'm going to pop on distortion with this. Now, I don't know if they could hear it over TV, but there's a buzz. Mm-hmm. All single coils, have that buzz. If I go to the middle, buzz. And the third pickup. However, when we go to the combination of the single and the middle, all of a sudden that buzz goes away.
Yeah. So they're not noise canceling.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is what normal single coils do. So a lot of people, were trying to figure out, were either cutting up their guitars because that. I'll take this one. Don't touch my guitar again throughout the show.
I kissed it before I gave it.
I'm going to have to degrease this thing. A lot of people were cutting up, putting humbuckers in just to eliminate that.
Yeah.
So what happened is like DiMarzio, I don't know if they were one of the first companies because they did it so long ago, came up with the stack pickups. I'm sure Seymour Duncan did as well. But
yeah.
So a single coil like you have in your guitar, but it is a stacked like what a humbucking pickup would be, correct?
Correct. Because they wanted to keep it cosmetically looking like a Strat pickup.
Right.
But I have to tell you, the original pickups I put in this guitar, I got this guitar in pieces. It was in pieces, literally.
Oh.
They assembled it for me. 2 kids had it at a guitar show, and they had it apart so you could see all the numbers matched with the original neck, which I don't have anymore. I gave that to Ingve the first time I met him.
You did?
Yeah. The first time. I met him a few times, but the very first time I met him was at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center, and we were downstairs.
You gave him the 70s neck?
I gave him the neck to this guitar. He has it. Yeah. Handed it. Well, I got a picture with him. Oh. That's why. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny.
I'll give you my neck if I can have a picture.
Well, I was younger, and I said,
know.
I got a gift for you. He's like, lay it on me, man. Like that. So I gave him the neck. Whatever.
I'm sure he really appreciates it because he had a bunch of those.
Writes me all the time.
Yeah.
But so the HS3s I put in here.
DiMarzio.
The DiMarzios. I went and I played through Marshalls like you, and I started playing it, and they were humming. And I called Bob. I said, Bob, they're making a lot of noise. He said, all right, bring them back. We pulled the pickups out. I melted birthday candles in a lead crucible. And then I took a spoon, and I took the hot wax, and I ladled it between the wines and that copper band.
Right.
And he told me it's the copper band that's vibrating. He said, that's what's giving you that hum.
Yeah.
Now, when I put them back in, they were the ugliest looking pickups you ever saw because they were covered in birthday candle wax. Pink, blue, they were
pink.
Of course, it's my favorite color.
I know.
So I put them back in the guitar. The guitar was quiet.
Yeah.
And I never had a problem with them. These are YJMs. They're already potted. They're noise canceling.
Yeah, but you know what? That happens a lot with humbuckers as well. I've had humbucking pickups that had to be potted in wax.
Yeah.
But I mean, the noise of that is one thing. The buzz is a whole nother thing. That's the whole purpose of the stack pickup. Now, if you look on this guitar, this is the size of a single coil.
Is that a hot rail?
Right here.
That's a hot rail?
Yeah, these are hot rails. If you notice, they have 2 blades on them.
Yep.
So it's like a mini humbucking pickup, but that fits, into the thing. Now, a lot of people will, I love these pickups, but a lot of people say cosmetically they don't.
No, that's why I didn't put them in, but I did have them in my Stage Masters, my Kramers.
Oh, you did?
They came with hot rails, yeah.
I think they're great. I love the treble pickup. The rhythm, so-so. It's not my favorite, but, it's passable.
Yeah.
But I think it's, very cool that they ended up doing something like this and making, where we could cosmetically have the guitar look the same.
Yeah.
And,
this thing, this has been my main guitar since I got it in '88, and it was much prettier when I got it. But all this, I know people go to Fender Custom Shop and they pay thousands of dollars to get their card.
Yeah, relic.
Their guitar's relic. I would tell you that just give the guitar to me and I'll take care of it for you. As you can see, this is my workmanship right here.
Yeah.
But this is all me, all this stuff. I don't worry about this.
Oh, no.
It's a tool.
Let me tell you something. The Strats, when they get old and they yellow like that, I love it.
That's for the sound.
Yeah, but, it's funny because, BJ.
Yeah.
BJ has a white Strat that he's had for years. And when he used to be a smoker, he had it on a stand in his room.
Yeah.
Well, the guitar was originally white like this.
Yeah, Olympic white.
But when he used to smoke years ago, that thing had, became yellow from that. And that it's just, there's something about the way that looks and the way, especially if it gets aged. And I like the way guitars look when they age. People used to make fun of me. I used to not. I know it sounds terrible, but I used to not clean my fretboards or do anything. I liked it when it just looked like that.
How many times have you told me, clean that dirty fretboard?
Oh, that was because I was jealous of it.
But it's not, but that's just me playing on it all these years. But I get it. Some people, they don't like this kind of a look, but this is all legitimate wear by somebody who, I played it all these years.
Yeah.
Some people want brand new. Sorry about that. $5 for you. Yeah, $10 for you on the Christmas card. No, it's just personal taste.
Do you still, okay, let's talk about practicing.
Yeah.
I'm a mental case because I still practice all these years. There's some people, I don't need to tell you what you've seen me.
Oh, yeah.
Backstage. It's like I'm playing right up the show and all day long and everything.
I do that. Same deal.
Yeah, you do that. You even bring a little amp with you.
I do. I go and I hide. I get in, I load in, I set up, and then I go upstairs.
You
and
find
I
a
stay
place.
there.
Find a place to play.
I've always been that way.
Yeah, I think it's really weird that a lot of people don't do that don't have to do it, but I conditioned myself to be one of these people. Yeah, I have to. I feel in order for me to put on the performance and to play with at the level that I feel comfortable,
right,
I have to practice.
You have to practice all the time.
Yeah, I want to try to keep things up. Look, I've been playing 50 years now, but I still every once in a while am learning new things. Still, it's like I'll do something new, a new picking pattern or something I've never done before, and then I look and I go, I can't believe that I'm still learning something new after all these years, because you never stop.
No, you never master it.
No, and that's where I want to go next. Now, you and I, being the age that we are,
I played at the Crucifixion. I don't know.
You did.
There was the guy on the left.
You were the guy. Yeah. I was at the Last Supper.
You got that gig?
I was the guy in the end.
I wanted that gig. Jeez.
I was playing the mandolin though.
You got a better agent than me.
It was. I got to tell you. So now you and I, back in the day, when we wanted to learn something, like from our favorite artists, like when we were growing up, in our teens and whenever we started playing. When did you start playing, by the way?
I was 13 years old.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right, so we both started at 13.
Yeah.
We had a record player and later on a cassette player.
Right.
That's what we had to learn to become guitar players that we are. And you and I have had this conversation so many times about how the youth that's out there, these young guitar players that are absolutely just killing it, and not taking away that they don't practice and have the things to learn, because they do. They're putting the time in, but they have the resources for them right at their fingertips that we never had as young players. And not for years either. I went through, we went through all of the 80s.
Yeah.
When I was playing, even through the 80s, there were no computers still,
No.
None taught in school. When I went to high school, one of the classes was a typewriting class, not a computer class.
Yeah.
You know, NASA had the computers.
I think the biggest thing that happened during the 80s was the REH video series. And I think Paul Gilbert was like the first of the Shredder guys to actually do one. And Vinnie Moore did one.
Chris and Pelletieri.
Yeah, and Pelletieri did one. And I think Greg Howe did one. Those were revolutionary. If you had a VCR, it was awesome. But prior to that, no, it was record players.
Yeah, I mean, they would actually you could like look up some of your favorite guitar players and get, you know, totally sickened by their intro, watching what they're doing, and then they go, you know, throughout the tape explaining a few things. That was a really cool thing. But then, you know, all of a sudden when YouTube and all the other internet access things that are at your disposal now came out, it's like so many guitar players every guitar player that you hear is just a monster guitar player now. They're everywhere on Instagram, on this. I mean, you can't get away from it.
Well, it's a number of things. It's a wealth of information that's available. It's the way to access the information, and also think about it. Who was playing like this in the 70s? Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody was.
Well, no, there were though. Like there were some cats in the 70s that were kind of doing it, you know. Well, yeah, you remember Jan Ackerman?
Yeah, Jan Ackerman.
He was, you know, from
Terry
Focus.
Kath.
Yeah,
you know.
Terry Kath. I mean, there were these cats that were, you know, playing, but not in that capability. And
not like it is now. No.
No, it's like, and am I don't even know how to say it. Am I bitter about it? I'm not bitter. Mm-hmm. I guess I'm more. Yeah, we're bitter. Yeah. I'm envious.
Yeah,
I guess
much
I'm more. The word is envious. I wish that when I was struggling trying to learn something, that I had that opportunity for me. Now, granted, that made us better players because of our ear. It trained our ear better, you know, and. You know, so there are advantages to doing what we did. It's not like that we turned out bad. That's not the case.
No, but like case in point, I follow this kid. He's out of New Jersey. His name is Brandon Ellis.
Yeah.
And he plays with Black Dahlia Murder. This kid is unbelievable. I mean,
you sent me videos.
Plays beautifully. He's melodic. He's technical, right? But the thing is, I think he's only been playing like maybe 12 years.
That's the other thing,
though. It's a fraction. They've cut our time into quarters.
I see videos. What kills me is when I see the young kids, like, you know, I'm talking not in the teens. I'm talking, you know,
the little guys,
guys, you know, or girls, ripping it up on the guitar. Yeah, that's another thing now. Look at the female guitar players out. They're like killing it. There's so many of these female guitar players that are just absolutely, you know, shredding like monsters now. I mean, God bless them.
I know.
That's crazy. None of that was around. I mean, not that I knew of back then.
They were usually a singer or something like that.
Yeah, they were singers and keyboard players or something.
Yeah,
these girls are front stage tearing it up now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. But once again, all these tools are available to them that we didn't have. So, yeah, I mean, I wish we had it.
The record store loved me because I was destroying all my albums. I was absolutely just wrecking all my albums. Matter of fact, I was going in and buying the same album all the time that I was wrecking. And the guy was like, let me ask you a question. I noticed you buy the same albums a lot. Are they defective or is there a problem? And I said, no. And yes. I said, they're not defective, but there is a problem. Yeah. I said, and I'm the problem. And then I explained to him what I was doing, trying to learn these songs.
Yeah.
So then he gave me an entire dissertation on, you know, how to handle the album. He went in there 2 fingers, and he put it between his palms like radioactive isotope, and then he set it down on this padded surface, and he's explaining to me how to move the needle. And I'm thinking, if this guy ever saw me at home, I'm going into the record jacket like I'm dipping into a Frito bag, you know? I'm grabbing it, fingerprints all over the place, throwing it on the turntable. There was no finesse.
Well, you know, we've talked about this. I mean, really, you and I bought so many copies of Made in Japan and Machine Head.
Oh yeah,
trying to learn Lazy. You know, and I had bought a Deep Purple book, okay, you know, song book, and Highway Star was in the book was in the key of A. It's not in the key of A, so it's like the whole book was useless. It's like, you know, we didn't even have books good books to learn something from that were available to us.
The tablature
back
was
then.
usually wrong. It was usually not right.
Yeah,
You know?
I remember when tab started getting popular in the 80s. When they started putting out things with tablature, but you know what? I learned how to write out a few things, but some of the tablature was still very complicated. Even
Oh yeah. The one album that I destroyed and had the most copies of was Frank Marino Mahogany Rush 4. Yeah. I had 4 copies of that album. And the reason is because like the first 2 songs would work, but the next 3 songs were destroyed. But on this copy, the first few songs were destroyed, but the other 3 songs worked. And then on that copy, the same thing.
Was that the live album?
The live album.
Incredible album.
Yeah, unbelievable. So I wrecked all of them. And by this time, they had a nickname for me in the record store. They called me Skip because I skipped all my records. So every time I go in there, say, "Oh, Skip's here.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, Skip."
I'll tell you, man. When I was in my band up in Canada, when I was playing over there, and I was up in Montreal, we actually ended up rehearsing at Frank Marino's Tempo. I believe it was Tempo Studio.
Yeah.
We rehearsed there. They had a big stage there. It was his recording. They had the whole recording booth, and we used that room in all of Mahogany Rush's stuff for making passes. The laminate machines.
Yeah.
And, all that stuff was there. So it was really cool.
He was a god to me. And I thought that he was, and
I never believed. Did you believe that story? That he overdosed and he woke up and he could play like Hendrix.
No.
I mean,
no, it was total.
Yeah, that was just
sounded like a publicity thing or something like that. But he said he didn't say it. But when I think about it, like I saw him one time in '78 in Giant Stadium. It was the Jersey Jam, and he's not that much older than us, And I think about it. He was playing in Giant Stadium. He was like maybe 21 years old.
Yeah.
And I think I was like 15 or something. He was just incredible.
Freak on guitar.
Still to this day, I still think he's an incredible shredder.
Well, listen, before we run out of time, I want to talk about your new record deal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll shake your hand again.
Thank you. And I want to thank Jimmy Page for not coming today so I could fill in for him. Thank you.
Hey, by the way, Greg's going to take me out for a birthday dinner right after this, so I just want to, we're on a bit of a time.
Yeah, come to Joey G's, everybody.
Everybody to Joey Garlick's.
Yeah, the whole town. Yeah, come on over.
So tell us about your new record deal. I'm glad you've been through a bunch of different ones. And
sure have.
Yeah. And you finally landed something that sounds pretty cool. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. Well, it's a. The contact that I have that represents us is out in Pasadena. Holly Rock's very, very sweet lady. And Mark Skoda is the guy in Nashville, and he's the actual head of the label. And just all the AI and the algorithms that they're using, which is able to sample certain demographics about where they feel that your songs would do well in, the way they work Spotify, where they have told me, and you probably know this, that most of the major record companies control Spotify.
Yeah.
All the popular playlists they make up. So if you're an artist that's not signed to a major and you're trying to butt into that, you're just going to get swallowed whole. You do anyway, but these guys have a different type of system that they use for that. They have some mini tours they do. They said there's going to be a festival this year in Nashville. So hopefully,
I wish you the best of that because I know.
Thank you, brother.
I know my singer, Mike Gill's, with you on this project. So I'm, and of course Rob on the bass. I absolutely love Rob.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Really.
You got a good.
All these guys are great.
Yeah, you got a good band with you, which is really, really good.
Very talented guys.
I did tell Mike though that we have a conflict of interest now, seeing we're not friends anymore. That he can't play with you in a band. It's either him or me.
That's not what he told me over a candlelight dinner last night. He didn't tell me that.
You were rubbing his hand. Yes, that's
true.
I
was consoling him, saying, "It's okay, Mike. I'll talk to him tomorrow."
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, great. Congratulations. It's been a great pleasure having you on this show. I've been wanting to get you on for a while, And actually, we were shooting for last week, but you were going through so much, and I appreciate you actually still, because everything's still kind of new and everything. Just hang in there; you'll get through it. It never gets any easier, and it won't. My mom's been gone for coming up 2 years now, and it's still there's nothing that's gonna make it better. But you got your brothers. You got a good family.
Yeah, my brothers are great.
Yeah, you come from a great family. You got great kids. Kim, she's wonderful. So God bless you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, brother. Love you.
Well, I love you too, man. See you next time, folks, on Beyond the Strings.